Welcome to the Filmistines, the podcast where we discuss all things movies. Join us as we dive deep into the latest releases, revisit classic films, and explore the art of cinema. Whether you're a film fanatic or just love a good flick, we've got you covered. From Hollywood blockbusters to indie gems, we'll be breaking down the storytelling, cinematography, and everything in between. So grab some popcorn, sit back, and get ready for some cinematic magic. If you like what you hear, please consider subscribing to our Patreon at patreon.com/Filmistines. We offer tiers at the $1, $5, and $20 level, where the $20 tier grants the ability to request films for future episodes. This is the Filmistines, where movies are more than just entertainment, they're an experience. And we're back with another episode by the Filmistines. And I'm joined today with my airhead friend, Lucy.
Airhead. I like that.
You like that?
I like that.
That's got three meanings.
Oh, I was just thinking of the candy.
I think airhead also means like arrogant. Is that right?
Is it not means like kind of nothing in your head? Like kind of slow?
Oh, maybe. I'm not even sure actually. Something like that. And then of course a play on what the show is about, or what the episode is about. Ben Affleck's 2023 masterpiece, Air. I'm just kidding about the masterpiece part. The award-winning director, Ben Affleck, yeah. Because he directed Argo, and apparently that was very good, but I haven't seen it. We'll see, Ben.
Yeah.
See you working at Dunkin' Donuts now. We'll see. We'll see how those awards are treating you.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. So Air, the recent, collab between Ben and Matt Damon. They work together quite a bit. Not that Ben doesn't direct all of their collaborations, but he brings today a strange movie, Air, about the conception of the Air Jordan, about the conception of their relationship with Michael Jordan, sort of. What do you think? What did you think about this movie? Did you have a good time watching it?
I had an okay time watching it. Some parts were a bit hard to get through. Just kind of, let me get started with, I don't know anything about basketball. I know you have a certain amount of players. Some are on one team, others are on the other team. I don't know how many.
Yeah, like any other sport.
Yeah, like any other sport. I guess except tennis, you have one here and one there, unless you're playing doubles. But they have a basketball, and there's baskets, hoops.
10 feet off the ground.
I didn't know that. I just know they're on either side of the court. And there's some rules. There's some really, really tall people.
Very tall, yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah, it's the closest thing we have to hand soccer, isn't it?
I guess.
Yeah, I'm not super familiar with basketball either, but I have watched a few games, played a few games, like video games, played a few video games. I've played some basketball too, of course, because I'm 7 feet tall. And and of course I wear the shoes, so of course I can jump. So I'm very familiar with the Nike basketball line of shoes.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with the Nike basketball line of shoes. I didn't even know Air Jordans, whatever you call them.
People just call them Jordans today, yeah.
Until I met you.
J's. Yeah. So I'm very familiar with the retro ones. And, one of their most famous shoe, not a Jordan shoe, but is the Air Force One. And they, there are a lot of Jordan shoes. I'm not sure what number they're on right now. I don't really keep up with that. Not a shoe collector or anything, but there are. It has seceded. It has, is that right? Seceded?
Like separated?
To pass.
Oh, yeah.
It has seceded his number, 23.
Okay.
And I have several different Jordan shoes. And I was a little bit surprised in this movie that we didn't get any Tink Hatfield.
Who?
Tink Hatfield, the major designer behind most of the Jordan shoes, because he was working at Nike at this point in time. And I saw that Michael Jordan himself asked to not have him in the film.
Why?
I have no idea what kind of history there is behind that.
That's juicy stuff. That should have been in this film. Maybe I would have liked it better.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I want to say off the top about this film. This is the most dad-ass film I've ever seen in my life. This is the kind of film that a dad puts on, and his kids walk by and stuff and see him watching it, and it starts to build the impression in their minds that that's what great movies look like. And so they're completely, I don't know, brainwashed into thinking this is what good movies are. Because he watches it all the time. You know what I mean? Like Avatar, the first Avatar. It's kind of a dad movie. He'd put that on and watch it over and over again, and then your kids see it and you're like, God, that movie must be good. But I hate it. I must hate movies just in general,
Yeah, I can see that.
But neither of those movies are very good. They're decent. They're both decent. But Avatar is better than this, though. I know you were a little confused about what was happening scene to scene.
Well, not throughout the whole movie.
No, I guess in the intro part when they're kind of starting to build up with Matt Damon bouncing around between a bunch of names and the game itself and just the whole world of basketball, because you're not familiar with it, right?
Yeah, that's a fair thing to say. I mean, there were, at one point they're saying basketball or high school people, then at another point they're talking about colleges and NBA, and I'm like, okay, what is going on here?
Yeah.
What is this person? What's he even doing?
Yeah, because people who know, they know,
right.
They know where Charles Barkley is at. They know, people who knew about Michael Jordan, they know when he started. They know when, they know where he went to school. They know when he was, when he went to the Bulls and everything.
Yeah, if you know, you know. I did not know nothing.
And I don't know at all. I'm vaguely familiar with some Michael Jordan stuff. I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean, way more than I was, that's for sure. I was so confused.
So I could help you out just a little bit there, but...
No, you did at least a decent enough job for me not to be lost the rest of the movie.
Yeah, and it was kind of hard to pinpoint what exactly not Ben Affleck, but Matt Damon's job was. And they kind of made fun at that, too, which was fun. Because he's like this weird product marketing guy, but he doesn't do anything. He's kind of trying to seek out. It looked like they had a couple of those guys, but we didn't see him really. They're these guys who were trying to seek out potential sponsorships in faces of Nike and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I don't know exactly what you would call that, other than just I guess in the marketing department. But he had his office had a bunch of tapes and stuff, so he's I guess watching a bunch of people play and trying to figure out who the best player there is to go with, but there's no budget, so I don't know.
Yeah, almost like a scholarship recruiter, but instead of a scholarship for a school, it's sponsorship. I don't know.
Yeah,
shoes?
Sponsorship. It's kind
Free
of a mutual sponsorship. That's what they're hoping for.
Yeah.
Now Nike can act on its own and doesn't quite need that at all times, because Nike's a fucking global icon now.
Mm-hmm.
In every sport, right?
Yeah.
Along with Adidas and I guess Converse, but Converse is now owned by Nike.
No, it's owned by Nike, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there probably was a period in time, maybe it happens after this, because I know around the Jordan 5 or 6 or something like that, somewhere right, not too deep in, Nike at this point had invested so much in the Jordan shoe that they were seeing crazy diminishing returns, because there was just not enough innovation and marketing, I guess, on top of the already existing shoe, or the initial shoe that pushed the entire world over. That Retro 1, which is what we saw, which they would later call it, it's of the same cut as the Van is, the iconic Van shoe is, and the iconic Converse shoe is. There's just there's infinite variations of it. You can make your own version of it. Nowadays. Yeah. It's a mega important shoe to the shoe world and to, just pop culture in general. But I guess Nike has kind of a history of not being great at business and making weird decisions, and so things started to kind of fall apart, I think, in the early 90s, and then Tink Hatfield helped revitalize the entirety of, I think, the Nike brand. I think that's how deep his impact goes. It sounds like it might be a little controversial, though. Michael Jordan didn't want him to be there.
Yeah.
But I know he's responsible for one of my favorite Jordan shoes, which I think is the 7. I'm pretty sure, and that was the revitalized shoe. It's got kind of a rhinoceros looking skin on it and stuff, and it's a sick. They don't make very many iterations of that because as they progress through the sequence of numbers, Jordan 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they will come back and reiterate on shoes and stuff.
Okay.
And so some are more reiterated on than others, of course, because some are more famous than others. That's why the Retro 1 has become the Retro 1, and that's why there are literally probably 5,000 different variations of the Retro 1. Not even kidding. I have 3 of them.
Oh.
And that's nothing. A lot of people have probably 20 of them. That's probably a lot of people probably will only wear the Retro 1, once it came out.
Yeah.
But this movie is like pretty good, but it kind of sucks in some corners. Like I don't know, it's weird. I'm not impressed by this movie. I'm actually impressed by some of the weird ass decisions they made. Not in a good way, but I'm just like, I don't know. For example, we didn't see Michael Jordan's face.
Yeah. I was going to say, if I had to pick anything that I like, actually, is that they decided not to show Michael Jordan.
I think it makes it extremely fucking awkward that we didn't get to see him. And I thought there was going to be a big reveal with him in the shoe and stuff, which would have been kind of cool because it would have played up the shoe isn't anyone until the guy who, until Michael Jordan steps in it, and then we see Michael in it, and then it's kind of a big
reveal.
Like maybe at the very end he is he's tying his shoe up on the court, and then the movie ends with him getting up and running on court, and it ends.
Yeah, that would have been
and we see his face
a lot better.
And then maybe they CG Michael Jordan's young face on it or something on the guy. But I'm very curious to why we didn't see Michael Jordan, like the young version of him in this movie, like because you were impressed in a bad way or good way?
A good way.
I thought it was extremely fucking awkward.
No, I liked, because I think the message was that, okay, you're great now, but are you going to be great later? I think that's what Sonny, is that his name, was trying to say. With the shoe especially, you want to put your legacy down. So I think not showing him kind of played into that a little bit. We don't need to see Michael. He's already Michael Jordan. Like, the audience doesn't need to see him. We know who he is. We can picture it in our heads. I can even picture that in my head. I know who he is. I've heard the name. So I thought it was a little bit play on that. We don't need him. This isn't really about him physically, just more on his legacy. But I did also expect a big reveal, which I think would have been better. I think it would have been more cohesive to that choice.
Yeah, because they kind of started to really run. It was a slow pickup with this, but they started to really run with the shoes meaningless until the right person's in it. Until the Michael Jordan, until the Charles Barkley's in it or whatever.
Yeah, I didn't think about it like that, but yeah, it would have definitely helped.
Because I think the most awkward scene, and probably one of the best scenes, because the mom here is the big star, Viola Davis.
Yeah.
I mean, there wouldn't be a movie without her, which was Viola Davis was also requested by Michael Jordan to play his mom.
Aww.
Yeah, isn't that cute?
That is cute.
That's awesome. I like that.
Talk about a, kind of honor in a way,
I mean, Michael Jordan is,
And the little I know about him is he fucking loves his mama. He adores his mama.
Yeah.
So, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and he's arguably, the greatest athlete ever on the planet.
Of course. So,
he's almost got a godlike set of accomplishments.
Yeah.
It's, he's incredible. But when they brought him into the office, Michael Jordan and his family, to offer the deal, him walking around and being behind, him not looking at the camera or looking at Matt Damon or whatever, so we couldn't see Michael Jordan's face.
Yeah.
And he was just behind everybody and stuff. And then and eventually the camera was behind him, which is a better way to handle this kind of situation. But him walking around his mom and being, hidden by his dad and stuff as he's looking at jerseys or something, man, sucks. sucks. That camera
Yeah.
work is trash. I'm not saying that the decision not to see Michael is the worst thing in the world, but how they went about it was terrible.
Yes.
Fucking terrible. Because, we see another good bit was, is Michael here? He asks his mom. And his mom's like, yeah, she's here. But, he's not going to talk to you. Okay. We know.
Yeah.
So Michael's right behind us. You know what I mean?
Yep.
We're watching these guys play it out, and Michael's in the house.
Yeah, that's not weird. That's not awkward.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Camera being behind him at the long table.
No,
Not awkward.
Not awkward.
Good stuff. But, yeah, those weird shots of him walking around and being concealed by the door.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird.
The one that stood out to me the most was when they got out of the car. And there he's hiding behind people. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Are they intentionally?
Yeah.
Because I wasn't
whole sequence,
catching
yeah.
on that we weren't seeing him. Like I should, like if it's not awkward. But then they did that. And I was like, what? Okay. All right. I'm confused. But, I think I should rephrase that. I like the idea of it. And the execution was not quite there.
Yeah, it definitely hurts the potential of it because it can be kind of. I like the idea of it too, especially if there's a big reveal at the end there with him wearing those original shoes. I think that would have been awesome.
Yep, that's a heartstring. Tugging on my heartstrings.
Yeah,
that's easy.
It is, and who would ever think in a million fucking years, Michael Jordan putting his first shoes on would fucking make someone cry. And that would be that setup.
Yes.
We have a long setup here for that moment. The
Yep.
whole fucking movie is a setup for those original shoes.
Yep.
And that would have been some payoff because, like you said, we know who Michael Jordan is. Whether you love him or hate him, I don't know how you hate Michael Jordan's game. At least,
Yeah.
he's a legend, and that playing up that kind of godliness is would have been cool. Would have been very cool on screen.
And it would flow with the movie.
It would have because Matt, who could have been in the audience to watch that so we can see it? Matt Damon, because guess what? He was at a high school game earlier in the movie, very beginning. I think that's actually maybe how the movie starts, was him at a high school game.
The movie starts with a bunch of scenes from the 80s, I guess, and popular things from the 80s. And then I think they give us the percentage of...
yeah.
I'm not sure what that was. Popularity? What?
Yeah, I think those numbers were the market share in basketball.
Oh.
Yeah, so Converse was dominating.
Yeah, okay. And then I think we get Matt Damon.
Okay, so the first opening shot, I think that would still be the opening shot because it's the first proper shot. I wonder what my film teacher would say to that. And then we see Matt Damon though, but it's pretty common for an opening shot and a final shot to be pretty similar in what the character's doing and stuff.
Talk about a missed opportunity right here.
Seemed a little obvious, yeah. Seemed like it's one of these things we bring up quite a bit about people not knowing exactly what they have. And I get, when you're in it, it's hard to think when the thing is coming together and you're, it's just all these parts are moving. It's hard to think creatively on that level. The creativity kind of needs to happen in pre-production. A lot of it does, because I can imagine a director especially, you get hundreds of people moving about, yelling, getting shit together and stuff. It's hard to think, but it's also no excuse.
Yeah. You would think an award-winning director would.
Yeah, the award-winning director Ben Affleck's gotten awards in directing from the Academy Awards, the Golden Globes, and the BAFTAs, the three most prestigious film awards out there. BAFTAs are probably the most prestigious awards out there, period, in the story. And he's gotten one for Argo, of course. I want to see Argo.
Yeah, now I have to see Argo.
I know, right?
Whether I wanted to or not. I'm giving him so much shit here. I need to go see it.
I know, right? I don't like his hair. Is that a wig in this movie?
Yes. Yes.
I didn't like it.
No. I told you he looked like Ben Stiller in Dodgeball.
But he had spiky hair in Dodgeball, Ben Stiller.
No.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. That's not the hair I was thinking about.
I don't know what hair you're thinking about, but look just like him. Especially when he was wearing that jacket and he was like running. I was like, oh my god, you look awkward, dude.
I feel like he always wears one of those jogger jackets in every one of his movies.
That's funny. Maybe he thinks he looks good in them.
He is calling the shots, so he
Is he still married to J-Lo?
Yeah, J-Lo's last name is Affleck.
Affleck? Oh.
Did you know that? Not a lot of actors and people like that change their name.
Yeah. Huh. Well, maybe she likes those.
Yeah, she probably does.
You know, who knows?
Were you surprised to see Chris Tucker in this movie?
Yes, pleasantly surprised.
He's kind of unrecognizable.
I know. I mean,
minus that voice.
Oh, yeah, the voice.
But the voice doesn't even match anymore. Yep. It's so funny.
Yep. I mean, I like Chris Tucker. I'm a big Chris Tucker fan.
Yeah.
He didn't have much of a role in this film. You know, he was just, I think Howard was his name.
Yeah.
That was it. You know?
That character was also requested by Michael Jordan to be in this film.
Chris Tucker or
Chris Tucker's
Howard?
Character, Howard.
And he wanted Chris Tucker to play him? Or just requested Howard?
Just requested Howard.
Okay. That's cool. Talk about, you know, when Michael Jordan's requesting you to be in this film. That's cool. That's pretty cool. But yeah, Chris Tucker, good pick, you know.
He gives me, I don't know how dirty his mouth is or anything, but he gives me Bernie Mac vibes now as he's gotten older. You know Bernie Mac?
Yeah.
Yeah. Bernie Mac's a lot filthier, of course, so it's kind of hard to see it sometimes, but he just reminds me of Bernie Mac for some reason. I don't know. Rest in peace, Bernie Mac. We miss you.
I mean, this is a pretty famous cast. What would you call these? If the ones in what's it called? Flamin' Hot were B tier actors. What are these actors? A tiers? A pluses? What are these?
These would be, with the exception of Chris Tucker, these are probably all S tier actors.
S tiers? What the fuck?
Yeah, because if
like Satisfactory?
No, like super.
Oh.
Like in, you know.
You know when you get a grade in school and you get an S for Satisfactory?
In the Japanese video game world, S is like God tier.
Oh, that's hilarious. Because, you know, an O would be outstanding.
Yeah,
so want the O's.
These are O tier actors.
Got you.
Minus Chris Tucker, he's more A tier. He's more of an A list. And you don't want to be rude and categorize these people this way, but yeah, everyone in Flamin' Hot probably is more B tier, but something like Black Demon, I would, with the exception of Nacho Libre guy, I'm just kidding, he probably is in this category too. They're probably more like D tier.
F tiers? Is there an F tier?
There can be.
Or is this just short film? What are they called? Short films?
Short films?
Yeah. People who do short films, is that?
No.
Is our guy
student films and stuff aren't in the...
Yeah, student films.
They aren't in short films and little skits and stuff. Those aren't in those runnings. They're in their own ranks and stuff because they're they're under budget and they're learning and everything, you know. Now a lot of big time actors do short films on a regular basis. So
all right. Well, I mean, they have a pretty S for super cast here.
They do.
And they dropped the ball.
They do drop the ball. I don't even feel like Matt Damon's giving us his all.
Yep. I agree.
We all love watching Matt Damon be good at his job.
That's true. I mean, he was good, very, very good at this one. He got Michael Jordan, but
yeah, he's good in The Martian, too.
Yes,
that was pretty impressive.
Yeah, but in this film, the journey there was, you didn't give me the Martian journey here.
I didn't feel like Nike was hurting. You know, I didn't feel like, I know they tried to play up that, you know, Matt Damon's putting all these jobs at risk and everything, but we know the outcome. So it's not, you can't really build that quite like that, you know? You got to be really smart to navigate around that in an effective way. And they did not at all, because, there were like 2 or 3 bits where Matt Damon was looking at other characters and in the office, and, he was seeing child pictures and drawings and seeing, things that tell him that all these people have lives and they need to have a livelihood to fucking sustain themselves. And
Yep.
it can't really come across right when we know that Michael Jordan will sign and will then go on to be one of the biggest brands. I mean, arguably bigger than Nike itself.
Yeah, there's no suspense there. There's no.
And so you need to navigate that urgency a little bit differently, I think. And I think you told me this was the writer's first film.
Yeah, I think so. Let me verify that real quick.
I'm not going to shit on him like Black Demon. There's nothing nearly as bad in this movie than, there is in Black Demon.
Yeah, he doesn't even have a wiki. Alex
we know what that means.
Convery. Alex Convery does not have a wiki page. So he is a nobody. I'm just kidding. Kinda.
Upon Googling Alex Convery, very similar to Converse. Sounds kind of suspicious. The first article that pops up is a vulture, and the tagline says, "Air exists because its screenwriter saw The Last Dance."
I've never seen The Last Dance.
Apparently it's pretty good. It's like a Michael Jordan documentary.
First produced feature.
Is it?
That's what it says.
Okay.
Air marks Convery's first produced feature. He's long been a rising star in Hollywood, with 3 of his original screenplays earning spots on the blacklist over the years.
I think the screenplay is less of the problem than the camera work and directing. I think the writing itself is fine for the most part. I think a lot of what has to happen, I think a lot of what's wrong here is almost in its entirety on Ben Affleck. I think the directing is what suffers here, because we see, not that little great bits make a movie great, but we see some really great exchanges between Matt Damon and his mom. Anything with his mom, and it's great.
Yep, agreed.
Every little bit of it. And, it's not enough to make the film come together and it's, in a coherent way, but it does kind of shine. It does kind of allow the writing itself to shine.
Okay, yeah.
And so things like not seeing Michael Jordan is going to be a Ben Affleck call. Maybe the DP's call too. Maybe a producer, but I don't think so.
I mean, honestly, I think Ben Affleck is the worst character.
I agree. I think Ben Affleck is often the worst character when he's with Matt Damon. It's kind of funny. I think his best movie is obviously, I don't know.
I don't think he has the best movie.
Gone Girl's pretty good. Remember Gone Girl?
Yeah, but not because of him.
Not because of him. It's the whole production of it.
He happened to be there.
He just happens to be. He happens to fit the character and can put the lines out and stuff. But his best movie that he played a pretty major role in was probably Good Will Hunting.
And even then, he was
pretty minor.
Yeah, he was pretty minor.
Him and Matt Damon wrote the movie.
Ugh. Explains.
Oh, that movie was great.
Oh.
You don't like Good Will Hunting? You didn't like it?
It was okay. I mean, it was just okay.
Dang, that's a favorite. Is it just okay?
Well, people can keep their favorites.
That's all right.
Yeah, it's just okay. Maybe I saw it too later in life. Maybe I didn't see it back in the 90s. I don't know when that film was made. Early 2000s. I mean, Robin Williams was great. That's about it.
You didn't like Matt Damon's character?
Not really. I think the only movie I really like him in is The Martian, and that's about it.
All right. Yeah, Matt Damon, he plays pretty much the same character in all of his movies. So you kind of probably, Good Will Hunting is probably his most different. And then The Martian probably has when he's at his smartest character is probably in The Martian. Although I guess he's pretty smart in Good Will Hunting.
Well, he's supposed to be.
But he fucking survives on Mars in The Martian.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive.
That's more impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Ben Affleck's character is just, I think you've called it, that kind of humor that's just kind of cringe in the Marvel movies. You call that bro humor? Is that what you called it?
Maybe. Yeah, I call it bro films. They call the Marvel films bro films.
Okay. Well, I think
I might have said bro humor.
That type of humor is, I think Ben Affleck is trying to put that type of humor in this film, and I did not like it. It was very, very awkward, very cringe, especially the scene where they're trying to get Michael Jordan, when they're showing him the shoe. That whole thing was just mega awkward.
Yeah, that was a big moment for the movie too.
Yes. And I didn't want to watch. It was awful.
Yeah.
And then his character was too it was like too modern for the 80s, because he was talking about all these like deep breathing and whatever.
He must have.
What?
That's funny. I wonder, that character that CEO must have been him. He must have been real into this Buddhist lifestyle.
Yeah, it had to,
because it does ring a little off for the time.
Yes.
Although there was a trendy time before now where yoga and Buddhism was really taking the U.S. by storm.
Is that not the 70s with the hippies?
No, had nothing to do with the hippies.
Oh, okay.
It had everything to do with Jason Segel and Bruce Lee.
Yeah, I don't know what time.
And
time
the other guy. What is his name? But it didn't become trendy. It was more of like a counterculture type thing, versus now it's become almost totally mainstream. So it still took some time to develop in that way. But yeah, they took these caricature things out of that character, out of that CEO of Nike, and they were like, all right, Ben told himself, all right, Ben, talking to himself, you need to show your feet. You need to pretend you're a Buddhist.
Get a pedicure every
day. I'm sure you can afford it.
From now until the film starts, until we start filming. Yeah, I didn't like it. It didn't feel like it was with the times. And I'm not from those times, so I don't know. But it just didn't feel like it.
Yeah, they maybe should have humanized him a little better. Because he was like only 2 or 3 things. And then he was this not very threatening obstacle for Matt Damon. Like Matt would go see him, and then he'd be like, I'll think about it. And then he's it just didn't feel, I don't know, it's like there's got to be a better way to navigate around that, because we already know the answer. Of course he caves in. We need a better way around it. We need a better premise of conflict. It shouldn't be, are we going to get Michael Jordan? Can we get Michael Jordan to sign? Of course we can get Michael Jordan to sign. That's, one of the biggest parts of corporate history ever. We need a different question that we answer throughout the movie. And that ended with the shoes meaningless until we get, the name in there, until the person fills it. And maybe we should have started off with that a little more sincerely and romantically. But then maybe it would have spun out of being a biopic kind of thing. It would have landed more into the flaming hot camp.
Or maybe even shown us, the conflict in the board meeting, Maybe something there, not, I'll see what I can do. Like, what did you do? How'd you convince them to give a profit?
And they could have dramatized that a little more. Yeah. With the board. Yeah, that could have worked. That could work. Yeah, and then you're starting to tap into the screenwriter's problems, where the story's not fleshed out enough to give us the proper payoff and to make us feel like there's anything on the line.
Yeah.
You can make Nike, even though we know Nike is, one of the biggest brands in the world today, you can still make it feel like it's not then, and they didn't do a very good job at that. They shoved numbers down our throat and made them look desperate. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And I guess it makes the movie feel a little desperate.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, I want to like this movie more than I do, but I'm struggling to find it in me to like it.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't think I should like it. Everyone's given it very good reviews.
I know.
I didn't read any of the reviews besides,
I didn't either.
Yay, Chris Tucker. We love Chris Tucker.
And it's got that S tier class, that tier of people, and people were like,
Yep.
yeah, because, I know people like Scorsese and whatnot like to bitch and complain about how how stars don't exist anymore, movie stars and stuff, but it may be a little different than it was in the 50s and 60s, but it still exists in a very similar form, albeit even though there are different avenues of stardom, because yes, I know he's pointing specifically at things like Marvel, where people don't go see the Marvel movies for Chris Hemsworth or Tom Holland or Robert Downey Jr. They go for Iron Man, Thor, and Spider-Man. They're not going for the actors, they're going for the characters, which is different, all right? It's full stop, that's different. You need to, I'm sorry, Martin, but you gotta adjust with the times. You're one of the great filmmakers. Of all people, I would think you would be the first to adjust in some meaningful way. You don't have to like it, but I need you to be a little more thoughtful about what you're saying. You're being a little rude, but
damn,
got him. Put that on TikTok.
Yeah. Good idea.
But you people do really appreciate, people like, I mean, like for me, for example, I'll see any movie directed by a few people, David Lynch, Quentin Tarantino, but I'll watch any movie with Joaquin Phoenix in it. I'll watch any movie with Robert Pattinson in it. These are my guys. Andrew Garfield. I'm gonna go see Daniel Radcliffe. Right. I'm gonna see any movie with these guys in it, not because I love their acting necessarily. One part, some of these guys like Daniel Radcliffe, partially because they're in them being in. It's kind of a calling card of being experimental and weird, and I like that. And then, but Joaquin Phoenix is my favorite actor of all time, and he don't care what he's in. I'm gonna watch it because he's in it. I don't care who's directing it because he's in it. Signs is a great movie. Yeah,
I know. I don't feel like that with anybody. At least I don't think so. Maybe Robert Pattinson, but maybe.
I'm definitely a little bit more like that with directors.
Yeah, not even directors. I think I am more with maybe genres or themes. If I had to pick something that
premise, yeah.
Like I'm gonna go see a movie about a giant shark.
Yeah.
I am going to see a movie with fucking dinosaurs.
Yeah, which is like a different type of stardom too.
Yeah, I'm gonna go see a movie that's missing one of your senses. Like Don't Breathe, Hush. I'm going to.
We need more of those.
Yes, we do.
Too bad about Don't Breathe 2. It wasn't nearly as good.
Oh, I know. But Don't Breathe was...
Don't Breathe's pretty good. And Hush is surprisingly good, too.
Hush was good.
Yeah, this movie, it's fine. It is such a fine movie. Not in a fine wine kind of way, but just a middle of the road. It's a little long to be just fine.
Yeah.
But it's fine. It's okay. It's a very dad movie, like I said. I don't know if there's a better way to describe it than that, to be honest. It's got sports. It's got your business dudes. It's got them bickering about a very specific sport. It's got money shit going on. It's got, they're trying to negotiate over. It's got percentages.
Yeah. Dad's like percentages.
Yeah. They don't even understand them, but they're like, yeah, 51%. That looks good.
No, that's a excellent way to put it.
Yeah, I can't think of a movie recently that fits that bill a little better or in a similar way. Maybe Ford versus Ferrari. I haven't seen it, but that one feels like it might be right in that pocket. I
don't watch enough dad films.
Yeah, I think a lot of dad films are probably going to lean into the biopic, corporate cinematic universe type thing. Mm-hmm. Something tells me. So maybe it should be white dad movies.
Yeah.
Like 50s white dad movies or suburban dad movies.
Perfect.
There we go.
Cause not my dad. My dad's not watching this shit.
Suburban dad movies. Of the old cut.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm very surprised about the very high reviews. I don't think you even want to know my score on this.
Yeah, tell it to me.
I think I'm leaning towards a 1.
No way.
Yep. I think I think my favorite scene was the end, because it was fucking done. No, I'm just kidding. It was when Matt Damon was gonna go jog, because everyone's jogging, and he's trying it out, and he's like, yeah, fuck this. That's pretty funny. That's about it.
And what they missed there? They missed him wearing the Adidas tracksuit.
That would have been hilarious.
I know.
That would have been so good. Why aren't you there telling them these ideas?
I know.
I would watch that movie. Yeah. But no, I give it a 1. I'm not recommending this. Don't waste your time. Maybe if you need a movie is it this weekend? For Father's Day this weekend, this Sunday, if you need one, go watch it with your dad.
Father's Day movie.
But that's about it.
That's funny. It's a little pretentious, this movie. It's just, they're trying to hit on these big notes and this legacy and the kind of meteoric impact this would have on sports to come. But it's just not handled with grace or any kind of reverence. It's just really not. It's not very good. I hate to say it, I want to, because it's got the production value and, some of the dialogue, and it's got some things that are really high and going good, like my favorite like set or whatever in the room is obviously the VHS room, like where he's watching the tapes and stuff. It's a great little corner, right? But other than that, it's kind of confusing to even fucking know where he's at in the building.
Yeah, and speaking of that VHS room, okay, the room's cool, but then he plays that tape, and then he plays it over, and plays it like 5 times, and I'm like, I don't know what you're supposed to be seeing. But then they explain it. It's like, okay, but that's just a waste of my time. Just say, oh yeah, he's a natural. That's better than showing me the same fucking clip over and over, like 5 times. No, I don't have that much time to spend on your movie in little bits. I don't know. There were just too many things I did not understand.
I get that.
Yeah, maybe this movie was just not meant for me.
Yeah, I definitely don't think either of us were in the target demo for this. Well, thank you for watching this film with me.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you. The next one will be different. And that's a wrap for today's episode of the Philistines. Thanks for tuning in and joining us on our cinematic journey. We hope you enjoyed our discussion and gained some new insights and perspectives on the world of movies. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform, especially Patreon at patreon.com/Philistines. And follow us on social media for more film-related content. We love hearing from our listeners, so if you have any feedback, suggestions, movie recommendations, or book recommendations, please feel free to reach out to us. Until next time, keep watching and keep loving the magic of movies. This is the Philistines signing off.